Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. My name is Ruben and today we are going to talk about the big ideas from ARKInvest from 2021, and this part will be about automation. So let's start. The robots are coming to help you to create jobs. Right now there's like fear in the market that automation will destroy your job, but ARK is really optimistic about that, and they believe that it will empower humans, increase productivity and wage growth. So automation has potential to shift unpaid labor to paid labor, and one of these examples is like, as food services automate, they will transform food preparation, cleanup and grocery shopping into market activities, including food delivery. And ARK believes that automation will add approximately 5% or $1.2 trillion of GDP during the next 5 years. Well, the US economy is at automation levels similar to that of the US manufacturing in the early 1990s. While manufacturing took roughly 25 years to hit the current level of automation, ARK believes that the US economy will automate at a rate 5 times faster during the next 5 years. And on the left, we have US manufacturing robot density per 10,000 employees. So in 1990, we had 25, and in 2015, it got up to 175 density per 10,000 employees, and they apply the same pattern for the right, which is the US economy automation density. So in 2020, we have 25 as well. Up to 2025, we're going to get 175 density per 10,000 employees. Well, industrial robot demand seems to have hit an inflection point following the Great Recession of 2008 and 2009. Perhaps in response to it, industrial robot demand hit an inflection point, and trade tensions between the United States and China may have added to the momentum before COVID-19 created a headwind in 2020. So short-term obstacles will not prevent a rebound in industrial robot sales and could encourage companies to automate and cut costs more aggressively. Well, if you put this in a graph, we have industrial robot price elasticity of demand. On the x-axis, we have unit price of the industrial robot in thousands, and on the y-axis, we have unit sales of industrial robots. Point being, the price of the unit is going down and the demand is going up significantly. Yeah, one of these companies that started to use automation is JD Logistics from China.
This is the new smart logistics center of Chinese e-commerce giant JD. The 500,000 square meter facility is packed with the latest supply chain technology, but it wasn't too long ago that tasks such as shelving and packing were done manually by employees.
以前的话，基本全餐都是手工的，但是现在基本有一半以上的人都是节省的人力，全部由自动化的来进行一个实现，就减少了我们工作的一个强度和劳动。
Jiahao's situation highlights a bigger trend in China, the push towards automation. The Chinese labor market is facing a number of challenges, including an aging population and rising wages, issues that automation could help relieve.
It's still rapidly evolving. That aging population is a reality. China is now facing the challenge of potentially getting old before it gets rich.
JD.com's massive logistics park in Dongguan, South China can handle 1.6 million orders a day. Let's take a look inside.
After an order is placed, packages are transported to a sorting facility which is fully automated. There are 800 of these sorting chutes which help divide up packages destined for China's many different regions.
China's working age population has shrunk by more than 5 million in the last decade as births have dropped. That makes automation at places like JD's logistics park even more necessary.
我觉得现在整个自动化有个非常大的优势，一个是它把一些复杂的动作简单化，也要把一些这个搬运的距离，然后去更加的高效，会把我们的员工的这种作业的劳动的强度把它降低。其实这个的话是对整个效率的提升、成本的优化会很大的一个提升。
Qin Jiahao has been working at JD for around 6 years. A large part of his job has become automated too.
最有深刻的体验的话，就是一个工作时间这方面。工作时间的话，以前可能说经常会加班，但是我们自从有了这个自动化的一个设备之后， 我们的一个上班时间缩短了，现在基本都是可以从8、9个小时就可以完成下班了。然后第二个的话，就是我们微信上记录的一个步数，从以前的4、5万步，可能现在我一天只能走12000到13000就可以完成我们的工作，劳动强度是下降了很多。
What kind of tasks do you do differently now versus before?
以前的话，我这边主要是负责理货上架那方面的一个动作，但是现在的话，基本是我们收完货之后，然后通过这个自动化的一个设备，然后一个堆垛机把货收进来，然后放到一个指定的位置，然后再从指定的位置放到一个拣货橱位上，这个一环节的动作其实都是自动化完成的。我这边的工作的话，主要现在是负责这个自动化的一个逻辑和设备的调试，来实现最大化的一个人资的一个结合。
Increased automation and productivity can provide many economic benefits. A drop in labor relative to capital does not suggest necessarily that wages are falling. Instead, output can grow faster than wages, and thanks to increased productivity and automation, they created 4 kinds of scenarios. 1. Higher wages, which will benefit the employee. The second one, lower prices, and that will benefit the consumer. 3. A higher margin, which will benefit the company. And 4. Higher investments, which will create a virtuous cycle. Historically, when labor share has declined, operation margins have increased. So for every percentage drop in labor share in the industrial and agriculture sectors, operation margins increased 30 basis points and 280 basis points respectively, and ARK would not be surprised to see a similar relationship in all industries. So if labor share were to fall 15% in line with manufacturing, operation margins could double to more than 20%, and that's a forecast that they made. Besides manufacturing, automation is also used a lot for driverless transportation. Let's have a look at the company WeRide in China.
It's not just the factories and warehouses that are seeing more automation. China's focus on areas like artificial intelligence is spurring rapid advancement in areas like driverless transportation.
The southern Chinese city of Guangzhou is a hub for some of China's tech companies to test their driverless cars. One such startup is WeRide. Users can hail one of the company's robo-taxis or ride on its driverless bus. Driverless cars can make jobs such as taxi drivers redundant and may even be applied in long-haul transportation modes eventually. I caught up with WeRide's CEO Tony Han to talk about the issues autonomous driving could solve.
One is the shortage of labor, especially in the concept of aging society. In China and also in US, in most of the developed country, human labor are getting more and more expensive. People need better paid, need more welfare. Think about if you want to get a chauffeur, you want to get a driver, it will be extremely expensive. And call taxis sometimes in the metropolitan cities and in some big cities is also very expensive. Can we find a cost-effective way to supply this kind of transportation service to everybody through autonomous driving? With development of artificial intelligence, we are able to make the car drive by itself with the input from all kinds of sensors. The other problem is things like we can make the city greener. Do we really need hundreds of thousands of cars in the city? And all over the city, you probably need maybe 1/10 of the autonomous driving cars to finish all this kind of transportation requests, and we can reduce the carbon dioxide emission to a big extent.
Automation shifts unpaid labor into paid labor. 82% of the roughly 7 million people who lost jobs in agriculture between 1950 and 2000 were unpaid family workers. You can see that in the graph on the left. And the loss of jobs in one industry, even a major industry, does not suggest that the total employment will decline. You can put it in the graph on the right. We have the employed persons in the United States, and compared to 1950 to 2000, we went from 59 million to 137 million of employed persons in the United States. Several examples: the washing machine monetized unpaid time spent cleaning clothes as washing machine manufacturers and laundromats took hold. So as food services automate, they will continue to transform food preparation, cleanup, grocery shopping into market activities, including food delivery. So automated products and services they are less expensive than their alternatives. So what are the pros and cons of automation?
But of course, increasing automation could also lead to jobs disappearing altogether. With that brings challenges on how to reskill the population for the new age.
One study estimates that up to 220 million workers may need to transition between jobs by 2030, in part due to automation.
The good news about automation is that it actually works, that it tends to improve quality, reduce costs, reduce time required, all these good things. The bad news about automation is that it actually works, as in it takes out the human resources. And China's going to get it just like everywhere else to us, except bigger, because China is bigger. So 226 million Chinese people will probably have to find a new job over the next 10 or 15 years because of automation. That, of course, is a massive challenge for the employer, and the employee, but also for government and for society as a whole.
And companies will have a key role to play.
自动化来说，我们有个概念叫人机协同，人资 CP。我们会人怎么把设备，然后去用得更加的高效，然后结合整个这个操作的话，更加的顺畅，这种协同会更加高效。我们会来看设备会更加的匹配，然后人的操作是不是更加的便利，是这么一些场景。然后延伸到我们人怎么具备这些能力呢？那我们平时会把每一个设备的运作的功能、操作的要点，然后一些关键的一些风险的管控、安全的管控，我们会跟这个员工培训，每天，然后每周甚至每月去把员工的技能去不断去给他培训固化，让他的操作更加的标准、更加的专业，然后跟我们的设备的匹配程度会越来越高，协同性会越来越高，就把我们的设备的效率用到了极致。把人的这个技能也同步在提升，这样的话就把我们的人机的协同做到最优，成本也会做到最优，效率也提到最高，是这么一个情况。
Sizing the opportunity. Well, automation could add 5% or 1.2 trillion US dollars to GDP during the next 5 years. And ARK believes that automation will boost the US real GDP growth by 100 basis points on average per year to 3.4%. So in other words, GDP growth without automation is lower compared to GDP growth with automation. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you actually learned something, and see you on the next part.